Well, if they were knowingly responsible, certainly. If it was a mistake is a mistake. But if they were knowingly responsible, yeah, then there should be consequences.
Joining us from New York is Bloomberg's Annmarie Hordern. So, Annmarie, take us through what we heard over the weekend in terms of the political rhetoric over the coronavirus.
Good morning, Nara. Well, the first thing I think what you outlined there was, of course, President Donald Trump saying if China knowingly did this, there would be consequences. Now, this is something that, of course, is one incredible thing to be watching in D.C. because also Republicans have been trying to paint the blame and the villain on China. It becomes a little bit more difficult because Trump repeatedly had praised China and President Xi in January, in February for its handling of the outbreak. One thing that is interestingly, though, Dr. Deborah Birx was on some of the weekend shows, and she said it to Face the Nation. She could not say whether or not coronavirus was created as a result of a lab accident that we've seen some Republicans say in China. And she said that the general consensus right now is animal to human origination. So that's one story to watch. The second thing really over the weekend, it all comes down to testing. This is something that Governor Andrew Cuomo said. He said even though we could potentially be past the peak, testing is needed. And one thing New York State will be doing over the next week is what he calls an aggressive program to test for antibodies. What we've heard from governors around the country is that they cannot reopen their economies unless there is widespread testing. This is something that finance executives, we understand, also said to the administration. So later on today, President Donald Trump said yesterday, later on today for Monday, Vice President Mike Pence will be having a call with governors to talk about some of the shortcomings when testing, what the administration can offer these governors to testing. And President Donald Trump said himself as well, he'll use the Defense Production Act to increase manufacturing of swabs for testing. So that's something we're going to be watching here. And then finally, of course, potentially more aid, the dire need for the small business aid, Nara. That's something to watch out of D.C. this week.